Hey, class of 2020, it's Mr. Stalter here with your graduation video. I know it's been long waiting for this, but I hope it's certainly worth it. This is the plaque, by the way, that the Music Boosters got for all of the seniors, vocal and instrumental, commemorating your time in the music department because you didn't get your proper goodbye. So this will be hanging in the music building forever, or at least until I leave. But please do come back and make sure you check it out, because that way you can come back and visit, because I do want you all to come back and visit. I'm going to miss you guys a lot. So why don't we go ahead and get started. This of course serves a dual purpose. You get to see your plaque, and also it helps me not forget anybody. So let's get started. Luke Albertson. Luke, the tall guy in the trombone section. I mean, that's usually who I used to say. People ask me that all the time. Who's that tall kid back in the trombone section? Well, that's Luke Albertson. You know, I think one of the things that makes you stand out for me is especially your senior year, because you know you really gutted it out to be a part of the marching band completely all the way through the season. Pardon the pun. You know, every day you would come into the office and like say, you know, here's how I'm feeling today. I think I can march, or I think I can go maybe tomorrow, and then the next day, but if I rest today, that's how that can work. You know, it was like whatever it was we could do to help you make it through, that's what we needed. So I really appreciate the sacrifice and all the effort and toughness it took to be able to make that happen. So it helped us a lot. So please know that all that effort was certainly rewarded. Celeste Anderson. Celeste, I think when you were a grade schooler, I told you that you had the same first name as my grandmother, and I'm sure that meant absolutely nothing at the time. But you know, it was just kind of neat. Here's a kid that's got the same name as my grandmother. It's not that common of a name. You know, and over the years, as you went from a trumpet player to a clarinet player, which I remember when Mrs. Quitshaw told me that you were switching to clarinet, I was like, what? But you know, then I realized, oh yeah, your grade has 5 billion trumpet players. We need clarinet players. I think Celeste would be great at it. So, and you were, and you know, I'm glad that, you know, kind of like Colton, you bonded with the clarinet, and that became your fun thing to do. Well, bass clarinet and, you know, contra, fun things to do. But you know, especially these last 4 years, and in the last 2, you know, I really have appreciated the camaraderie that we built up together, and you know, working together as a drum major and band director. You know, these last 2 years have been really special. They've been really good bands that you know, sometimes didn't get their due, I think, but you know, that wasn't on us. I mean, we I think maxed out our potential each time, and you know, the drum major role is a big part of that. And you know that I've had to lean on you more as a drum major than probably any other drum major I've had to. You know, me breaking my ankle, you know, it was like, well, here's all the stuff that Celeste and Angie are going to do, and you know, Celeste is basically going to take it from me to wherever. You know, a lot of that just wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't have been the leader that you are. And you took to your drum major role very naturally, and you know, bringing kids into the band that needed to be in band, you did. You know, all those things. You know, it's hard to know what the impacts of all those things are until you see like the finished product and you have a chance to look back on them. And you know, I look back on, you know, the 2 years that you've been a drum major, and I just think, wow, it's just been a lot of fun. I've just enjoyed that a lot. So you know, I couldn't be more proud of you and how you've carried yourself as a drum major and as a musician, especially these last couple of years. It's been a difference maker for the band. So I want you to stay in touch. Let me know how you're doing. And hey, go Birds, right? Go Birds. But I'm going to miss you a lot. Meredith Bardwell, my digital performance gear buddy. And I told you at your graduation party, I think all the pictures we have together are of us staring at a computer, wondering why it doesn't work. But it was so fun to have you in band for those 2 falls, and to have you get to be a part of the marching band and see what that was like, and especially to be with your friends in the marching band. You know, that I think meant a lot to them, and I know it meant a lot to you. It certainly meant a lot to me and the entire band that you came in and pitched in for all your help on the keyboards and stuff. It made those shows be performable, because that was an aspect that had to be there, and you were willing to take the chance and take the risk to do that, and it really paid off. It made those shows incredibly memorable, and I just like your wit and your ability to perform under pressure, and you know, all the things that you contributed to what we were doing. So I'm going to miss you a lot. Cal Bauman. Cal, you know, you're one of those kids that all the things that you got as far as your performance ability, which you reached a very high level on, you know, pretty much you did all on your own, and that is incredibly impressive. I mean, it's something that didn't go unnoticed, I'll tell you that. You know, to have you come up and play snare, and to do as well as you've done, and to be the section leader, you know, which I felt you were a fantastic section leader, one of the best that I've ever had in the line. You know, that contribution was so important, and you know, I appreciate your daily attitude, your work ethic, you know, just being grateful for the opportunity to play and expressing that gratitude every day. That's something I'm going to miss quite a bit. So thank you, Cal. Kallon Bosworth. Kallon, the dual threat, snare drum and soccer. It's been a lot of fun having you in the program for these many years, and I know that you got a big kick out of drumline, and that was your absolute favorite thing to do in band, and you did a great job on it. It was a pretty high demand to be able to juggle, you know, being in soccer and making sure you kept up with all the changes in the drum line, you know, that we would do in sectionals if you couldn't make it. So hats off to you, and congratulations for doing such a good job, and thanks so much for your contribution to the program. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you take that enjoyment of playing music on through in other parts of your life as you go into your future. Thanks again. Dalton Brown. Dalton. Hard to believe these 4 years of, you know, well, actually it's 8 years, but you know, most of the time my memories of you are from high school, you know, being part of these kind of bizarre alto saxophone sections. And you know, the alto sax section is really unique, but it needed somebody who had kind of a unique personality, but also somebody who was level-headed and could keep everybody grounded, and that's kind of where you came in. So I really appreciate all that you did in the sax section, and I know you're going to be a phenomenal nurse. You know, I'm excited to see you explore that opportunity. Going to ISU, yeah, go Birds. So when you get a chance to visit, please come by and do that. Hannah Coartney. Well, Hannah, I'm glad that we kept pestering you to join Color Guard, and you know, of course, you elected to stay in band, you know, once you were in Color Guard, and I really appreciate that very much. But I think what everybody's going to remember is your contribution in the Color Guard. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There are very few times when I get chills watching my band perform. And that first football game in 2017, when you did the screaming at the end of the isolation show, that was one of those times. I mean, that was like hair on the back of my neck standing up cool. And everybody in the front, Mrs. Q, Mr. Rocke, Carrie, we were like, this is the dang coolest thing that we've got here. It's going to be so awesome. but I really appreciate all the work you put into color guard and leading the other girls, and your commitment to making it great and to being as good as you are. And I encourage you to keep pursuing that as you continue on through college and into your professional life. See if you can get on as a guard instructor somewhere, because you'd be great at it, absolutely great. So the color guard these past few years would not have been near the same without what you did. So thank you very much. Jack Cook. Jack, the tall guy in the tuba section. And thank you for being willing to switch to play tuba. You know, that was something that was a need, and I was sort of surprised that you wanted to do it, but I knew that you would fit right in, you know, especially with Joe and all those people back there. And I know you do a great job, and that was a pretty stiff learning curve, but you did really well, and I think you'd agree in the end you became a really good contributor on the tuba, and maybe even surprised yourself as to how good you actually got. You know, it's just been a great time having you in band, because you have such a great attitude, and you know, your sense of humor and your approach to your daily work is just great. And I wish you all the best as you go on. I know your family moved all to Texas, and that's probably your home base, but I hope you still consider Eureka a little bit of your home. So if you get a chance to come back and visit and see this plaque here, please do so. Madeline Dalfiume, Miss Maddie, the maven of the mutes. And of course, the person who wears shorts no matter what the conditions. You know, that, and maybe one of my quietest members of the trumpet section of all time. I mean, you usually don't expect trumpet players to be quiet, but yeah, you were pretty quiet. And yeah, you did come out of your shell a little bit when you were, you know, ending your junior year and getting into your senior year, and that was cool. And I think part of that was you took it upon yourself to be responsible for dealing with the mutes every day, and so you'd come into the office and grab the mutes, and I'm sure you tried to grab them without me noticing you or without me saying anything, but you know, I had to say something to get you going. So I appreciate all those interactions, and you know, in music appreciation, I appreciated your insights in your papers and your project. That was really cool to read, and learn about your tastes in music. So I know you're going to the Ivy League, going to Brown, and I wish you all the best there. And I mean, if you actually do go there, I don't know if you're doing it remote from home or if you're actually going there and doing it remotely there, or what. But you know, please know that I wish the best for you, and hope you can come back and visit sometime. Mason Dewald. Well, Mason, you made it through. You made it through all your years of band. You were a trumpet player, you were a mellophone player, you were a French horn player, and I couldn't be more proud of the improvement that you made in everything that you did, especially in high school. The improvement in your marching from your freshman to your senior year is phenomenal. Your playing ability and how you play the mellophone was excellent, and taking those solos to contest on the French horn. I don't think I've had, I mean, I've had very few students that have worked as hard as you have on improving your individual musicianship. And I'm talking about every kid from every level. You're probably in the top 3 of kids that have worked as hard as they possibly could. And so I hope you know that that didn't go unnoticed, and that I really appreciated that. So good luck to you, and please come back and visit when you have a chance. Lilly Dischert. Oh, Lily. I remember in junior high, you had to go, right? You went over to Washington for a little while, and then you got to come back and be a part of my band at the high school. And I really look forward to that. I really wanted you to be in there when you were in junior high, and then you left. It was like, oh, well, we lost a really good player, and sure enough, you came back. So, you know, I like the times we had together in pet band, I mean, sure, it was over like puppy chow and stuff, but you know, just shooting the bull in pet band and being down there and talking together, and you know, catching up with your daily life and seeing how things were going. And I know that you were a dedicated player, that you really loved playing your flute, and really loved being a part of the band. And I really loved having you as a part of the band. So I hope as you go forward in your future, you experience a lot of success, and I want you to know I'm rooting for you, and hope you take care, and hope you can come back and visit. Olivia Engel. See, Olivia, I should probably have Lydia's come up after yours, because if you remember in junior high, it was always Lydia and Olivia. You know, it was like always together in the drum section. If I didn't see one of you, I always asked the other one where the other one of you was, and that was kind of our running joke through 5th and 6th grade. And when I saw you in 7th and 8th grade, I tried to remind you of that, just, you know, because I thought it was hilarious. And, you know, of course it takes until this year for me to like stop calling Lydia Anna, you know, all that other stuff is crazy. But anyway, Olivia, I think the big memory that stands out of you is that scary clown day, whatever that was. There was some guy in a scary clown mask or something over at Eureka College, and we were supposed to not go outside because the scary clowns were around and they were unpredictable, and that I just remember you telling me about that, and I'm like, what on earth are you talking? What is going on here? And that was just looking back on it, absolutely hilarious. And of course, what we've gone through now, you know, that seems totally trivial, but you know, I really appreciate your contribution in the bass drum line. You know, that's such a huge responsibility, and I know it doesn't seem like it's the real important one, you know, sometimes from the player's standpoint, but it is. It's the complete foundation of the drum line. And so you being as dependable as a player and as good as you are, that meant a whole lot. So I hope things go well for you in the future. Olivia, please come back and visit. Fowlkes. Rob, the short guy in the trombone section. Rob, and again, quiet for a low brass player, which is not the usual deal, but sometimes with people who are quiet, you find out that they have kind of a interesting wit and outlook on things, and that for sure applies to Rob. That applies to you very much so. Cool as a cucumber, and you know, not gonna let anything get us too out of whack. You know, just ride the wave, just ride the wave. And that's really kind of a beneficial thing, because you can just kind of attack things how they are and consistently go with what you were doing, and that's what you did. I mean, that's what you did. I think if I remember back from when you were a freshman, you know, going through up to your senior year, it's that kind of attitude that helped you improve as much as you did. And being able to go from baritone, going on to trombone, tackling that new thing, that was really pretty cool. And so I'm glad that you thought to do that, and was happy to see you be successful at it. So thanks for contributing all you did to the band, and I hope you do great in your future endeavors, and please come back and visit me. Wyatt Gregiore. Well, the last of the Gregorys to go through. You know, Wyatt, you were part of a trumpet section that had a ton of trumpets in it, and sometimes it's easy to get kind of lost in that and be kind of anonymous, but you certainly were not anonymous to me. I could hear what you were doing back there. I knew what you were playing like, and I listened to the improvement and the progress in your musicianship over the years, and I knew that you took that pretty seriously and pretty personally, and even got out to play a little bit of solo work in rehearsals, if I recall correctly, this year. So it was nice to see you step out and do that, and take that chance and give that a shot. So anyway, I appreciate all you've done over these years in band, and hope you had fun, because I certainly had fun, and it would not have been the same without you. And hope you get to come back and visit sometime. Keep me up with what you're doing. Angie Hartman, Angus, the last of the Hartman clan. I mean, it's been the Hartman clan, right? There's been, oh, let's see, Perry, Nate, JC, Carly, not Cammie, unfortunately, but yes, Angie. So 5 of the 6. I think there were only 6, if I remember right. There were only 6. There's not 7. I think there's 6. But the last of the Hartmans to go through. You know, and when you were in junior high and you wanted to be a drum major, you know, I think when you were in 7th grade, 7th and 8th grade, you got to conduct at the Christmas concerts, you know, do like the Christmas Carol or something like that. And even at the 8th grade band night, I think you got to be a guest drum major, if I remember correctly. And you know, that was cool because you got into high school and you were, you know, flute player, Angie the flute player, and you tended to be on the quiet side a little bit. And then when you got to be a drum major, it was like, release the Kraken. You know, where has this kid been? I think you just needed that outlet to be comfortable is probably not the right word, but to just take that opportunity to be the outgoing and forward person that you actually are, and focus on something that allowed you to do it that way. And I think drum majoring was the catalyst for that. I think you were a really good drum major. It was a lot of fun. You approached the job with energy and enthusiasm, and I know that you enjoyed conducting because I could see it in your body language. I could see it on your face that you really enjoyed conducting. And so I'm glad that you got to realize that kind of dream when you were a junior high kid in your high school years. I did want to tell you though, you know, when Dr. Steele came, you know, and there was that, I think the second day you kind of hung back in the office and talked with him just a little bit, talked a little golf and talked some just regular stuff. And after you left, Dr. Steele looked at me and said, "That's a great kid right there." And I said, "You know it, you know it." So I'm going to miss you a lot, and I hope you get a chance to come back and visit sometime. Ray Hughes, my across the street neighbor. Wow, I can't believe that you're actually graduated high school and you're off to college. You know, what a fun time it's been having you in band and having you apply all the knowledge that you've learned as a percussionist to all the different roles you've played in the band. You know, being in the pit and marching band, and being able to count on your level of musicianship and being to switch from one instrument to another and get those timings all correct and play your parts with musicality and enthusiasm. You know, I really appreciated it, and the band benefited from it in a big way, and you taking those solos to contest and stepping out of a comfort zone to do that, you know, that was a big deal. So Ray, I wish you all the best. I thank you for your contributions and your musicianship to everything that we've done in band these last years together, and I hope that you really enjoyed it. I think that you did. I think that you did. And please let me know how things go at Augustana, because I know you're going to try to play there too. So let me know what your musical experiences are like there. Seth Metcalfe. The Metcalfes that moved in from England of all places. You know, what a great family, and having the first 2 go through, Jessica and Jenna, you know, was a lot of fun. And you know, but with you, got to start with you, I think, pretty much from the beginning and go all the way through. Some of my favorite memories are, of course, you know, what you did on the, you know, in the pit for marching band. I mean, your performance on the mallets and stuff has just been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And some of the, you know, the concert works that we did together too. You know, Undertow, and if I remember right, we may have done Heart Songs, some of the mallet work on that. You know, what I really appreciate about you and your playing is that you constantly pushed yourself to learn new stuff. you know, and you did almost all of it on your own, learning form mallet technique, and you know, just experimenting and finding your way through that whole kind of stuff. And it's because you're a musician at heart. You know, you come at music from a very personal and interpretive angle, and you know, I can tell in your playing when you play that you have interpretive ideas of the music as you play, and you apply those interpretive ideas to what is happening, what the ensemble is doing. So you're an innate musician, and kids like you are not all that common coming through the program. So, you know, I really enjoyed all those times together in junior high. You know, I think it was in 6th grade when we had to wheel the xylophone up to the cafeteria for lessons every time, and got to serenade the cooks, you know, with all of our mallet playing. You know, and those were a lot of fun times. You got to do, I think you learned a lot of extra stuff that we could concentrate on that just wasn't like regular stuff. So, you know, it's been a joy watching your musicianship change over the years and progress. And so as you go on to Bradley and you keep playing, please keep me up with what you're doing and how you're doing, and come back and visit. Johanna Meyer. Johanna, if I remember, you joined the pit back when you were a sophomore. You didn't do it your freshman year, but some friends got to you, or somebody got to you, because you did come into my office one day after school, and we talked about being in the pit and all that stuff, what it means and what you do and all that stuff, and you were kind of excited about it. You were looking forward to it, and I tell you what, you know, the pit would not have been the same these last few years without you in it. You know, you play all your music with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of energy, and I know being a part of the marching band and being part of those moments, those big moments, and everybody's playing together, were some of your favorite things to do. And I hope that you really enjoyed that, and I know that you really enjoyed that. So as you go on, please experience all the success that you can and all the happiness that you can, and if you get a chance to come back to Eureka, check out your plaque, and please come and visit. Olivia Munson, another neighbor down the street. Yeah, somebody's got to be the actual, like, level-headed person in the clarinet section, and that would be you. In that section of personalities, somebody's got to be normal, right? Somebody's got to be like the usual kind of person, and you get to fulfill that role. But you know, it's kind of funny because, you know, I mean, if you don't necessarily stand out with a outgoing, you know, for lack of a better term, crazy personality, you do stand out because of your playing and your calm, level-headed approach to everything. And so that, you know, that kind of attitude is important, and it was important in making the clarinet section the success that it was these past few years. And I hope that you understood that and kind of got that, because when I nominated you for HOI Honor Band, I mean, that was partly me telling you, hey, I'm noticing what you're doing, and I notice what's going on, and it's, you know, it's a good thing, and I'm rewarding that good thing. So I hope you enjoyed those experiences. So keep playing your clarinet, and please let me know how things turn out, and stay in touch. Colton Myers. Okay. Colton. Boy, I'm going to miss your personality a lot because it's a big one. You know, one of the most important things that we did was, or I did, was ask you to switch to clarinet. You know, because that made a huge difference in the band. I mean, a huge difference in the band. You know, and it was cool because you took to the clarinet like a fish takes to water. And you know, like in the first week, you know, we were doing graduation band, and you already played the third clarinet part or whatever it was, just as good as everybody else was doing already. And so, you know, as you progress through these last couple of years, you know, you rose to the top of the section. You know, and I think you and the clarinet got to bond together, which was really awesome. And truthfully, there's some things that we could not have done, some pieces we could not have played these past couple of years if you hadn't switched to that instrument. So I really appreciate what you did. It made a big difference for the band as a whole, a big difference. So let me know how things go as you go into your future. I hope you continue to play the clarinet and enjoy it as much as you do now. And please come back and visit. Matt Nowatney. Well, let's see. Matt, you moved in from Emden. And when your mom sent me that email that, you know, hey, my student, Matt Nowatney, he's a flute player. He's going to move in. So yay when a flute player moves in. And, you know, we're from Hartsburg, Emden. I go, oh, cool. My sister-in-law and her family live in Emden. So I know exactly what's going on, where that is and stuff. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun having you in the band these last years. I enjoyed your free spirit and your dedication and your practice. I mean, listening to you practice in the band room every day before rehearsal, practicing scales or whatever it was, you know, it was a lot of fun because you're a really good player. And I'm going to miss your musicianship a lot. And I mean, I'm going to miss the puppy chow. I'm not going to lie. That was really great. I'm not going to lie. That was some excellent puppy chow right there. So somebody's going to have to take the mantle. Whenever we can play actually, you know, do actual basketball games and have pep band again, whenever that is, somebody's got to be making the puppy chow. So hold on to your recipe, and then we'll get it from you when the time comes, I guess. But anyway, thanks a lot for all you've done, and I hope that you have a great future, and when you get a chance to come by and visit, please do. Josh Paul. Well, Josh, I don't know what there is to say other than, man, you're probably one of the best tenor players I've ever had. You know, your dedication to that instrument and wanting to be better and pushing yourself to learn and to achieve has been nothing short of spectacular. And you know, that's an individual drive. I mean, I know that you enjoyed playing with your drumline buddies, and you know, that was like your normal regular playing outlet. But you know, not a lot of people really know how much work you put in behind the scenes and all the training and the practicing you did to try to push yourself to higher levels, to audition for drum corps and stuff like that. So I hope you continue to do that. I hope you continue to find avenues to do that with your percussion skills. I always appreciated your attitude, your gratitude, saying thank you after almost every rehearsal, even though you didn't need to, was something that I won't ever forget. So thank you very much, Josh, for all of your exciting musicianship over these years, and I wish you all the best. Nora Robinson. Nora, you know, I don't know where to start. You know, when you wanted to switch from trumpet to trombone, you know, I thought, okay, could use the trumpets, but we have a lot of trumpets in this class, so why not? You know, why not give it a shot? And you know, that was a great thing to have happen. You know, you may not hold yourself in very high esteem as a trombone player, but I do, because of the amount that you had to learn in such a short amount of time, and the demand that was on you immediately to do that. You know, and I know you tried your best, and I know you practiced a lot, and it showed. And I believe it was at the lake. We were playing for the St. Jude Runners, and you were playing trombone. And I made the remark to somebody, so that's I hear the trombone down there. That's awesome. Who is that? And so I had to look, and it was Nora. So, and I think you know that story already, but I just had to remind you of it. I'm going to miss seeing you every day. I'm going to miss talking about the Beatles, about just any stuff in general. You know, I've just enjoyed you being a part of the culture of the band, and enjoyed you being a part of my daily classroom and just my daily routine over these years. And I'm really going to miss you. I'm really going to miss you. So Thank you for your leadership and how much you cared for your section and how much you cared about the band, because it really made a difference. Thank you. Austin Rocke. Well, you know, of course you're the son of former students of mine, so you know, at a certain point, you know, there's always this, well, when your dad was in band and when your mom was in band, but we're going to talk about when you were in band. You know, Austin, you're probably one of the kindest, most considerate, generous, and great-hearted kids that I've ever had. You know, I know that you enjoyed band a lot. I know that you enjoyed marching band a lot, and I enjoyed you being a part of it. And I hope that you keep all those qualities that make you the person you are today and into your future. So when you get a chance to come back and visit, please do so. Logan Singletary. Well, Logan, you made it through. And you made it through being part of a trumpet section with a bazillion players. And, you know, the cool thing is that, you know, you spent that time and effort taking lessons, improving your playing, and wanting to get better, and that really made an impact. I think maybe sometimes it's hard to see that impact from your perspective, you know, from the high school student perspective, but from the director perspective, it's obvious. So all that time that you put in trying to get better and the work that you did really paid off, and it made things, it made the band certainly better these last couple of years especially. So I hope that you enjoy your future, you have a lot of success, and I mean, I know you will because you're a hard worker and a smart kid. So when you get a chance to come by and visit, because I think you'll probably be back in Eureka every now and then, please come by and visit, check out your plaque, and let me know what you're up to. Shelby Stoner. Well, Shelby, wow. It's been an amazing time having you in band, and I know that you just dug the crud out of marching band. I mean, you love marching band, and we're very, very dedicated to it. And you know, I could always tell that in your marching and how you approached, and how serious you were about your marching. And you know, it's one of those things that is so important in a band of our size, that, you know, everybody that can do it right and can do it exactly the way it should be done every single time, those kids are very important, and you certainly were one of those kids. And you know, to have kids that care enough and care about the ensemble as much as you do, that's important. And I wish more of my students would have that same level of caring about the band that you do. So I hope you get a chance to come by and visit, because I'd love to hear how your future pans out, and my best wishes to you. Ryan Strawn, going to go study meteorology out in Oklahoma. It's awesome. Yeah, another trumpet player in our gigantic class of trumpet players. I mean, I don't know what I did to that 5th grade class to make all these kids want to play trumpet. I mean, if I could remember that, then I'd be doing it every year. But maybe it was just like something in the water that year. I don't know. But you know, thanks for being such a dedicated member of the band. You know, working hard at improving your playing and improving your marching. And you know, I know that you really enjoy band, and you had some cool, inquisitive questions about, you know, the music that we would play, or the things that we were doing. And so those kind of conversations, those were memorable for me. So I wish you all the luck in the world. I hope you're safe when you start going to chase tornadoes and all that stuff that you crazy, you know, meteorological people do. So when you get a chance to come back and visit, please do. I want to hear what you're up to. Jason Walder, trombone. I'll tell you what, I've never had a kid take Arthur Pryor's Bluebells of Scotland to contest. That piece is a war horse. I mean, you know, and you know, the whole rating thing, no one cares about that. You know, you deserve the one, I'm just going to say it right now, since this is, you know, this is public, this is going to go on YouTube or whatever, and it's out there forever. You deserve the Division I. But, you know, your dedication to your trombone, you know, taking lessons with Mr. Dietrich and stuff, you know, your playing set the benchmark for the low brass. You know, having you on top as trombone, principal trombone, and having Joe on tuba, you know, those two anchor points, and having everybody fit in between those two anchor points, that was the key that made our low brass section sound the way that it does. Well, it did, because, you know, you guys are all gone now. But that's how that worked. That's how that worked. So there was excellence on top and excellence on the bottom, and everybody could find their place in between that. So I appreciate your leadership. I appreciate through your playing. I appreciate your dedication and your solid, consistent musical example every single day. So when you're around, look me up, tell me how you're doing. I'd really like to catch up with you and see how your future goes. Adam Wierenga. Well, Adam, here we are. You know, as a trumpet player, and I think I've told you this before, I couldn't be more proud of your improvement, especially from your freshman to your senior year. You know, you put a lot of work into it, and I think you became the trumpet player that you wanted to be when you were a freshman, and you looked at people like Jason Schwind and Wyatt Moser and those kind of guys, you know, what they sounded like and what they were able to do. That was where you wanted to go, and you certainly went to that point and beyond. And so listening to you play your solo at contest this year, I mean, even though I heard you out from outside the room, didn't get a chance to make it in time, but it was great. It was great, and you know, best of the day, which was awesome. So right there's that validation. You know, you worked hard for that, to climb that musical ladder, and you got there. So hats off to you. So I'm very proud of the way you turned out as a trumpeter, and I hope that as you go through your college career, you have a chance to play in some ensembles. You know, be a part of the marching band, be a part of the pep band or university band. Keep playing, you know, because you're a good player. You should keep playing. And plus, you're in a family of musicians. I mean, they're not going to let you eat if you don't play. So keep playing, and keep in touch. Let me know how you're doing. Lydia Williamson. Oh, Lydia, you and Olivia. See, I have to tie both of you together. Where's Olivia? I don't know. You know, or she's by the water fountain. You know, it's those funny light moments that I always remember. You know, your work on the bass drum in marching band has just been phenomenal. Being bass drum 1, that's a big responsibility, because you can't be off, because you're either starting a run or you're finishing a run, and you can't be off, and you never really were. You know, and being bass drum captain, keeping all the bass drummers focused on what they needed to do, and making sure the bass drum section was unified, was an important job, and you did a really good job at that. You were really good at that, Lydia. You know, it's funny, the times that we really needed something to glue music together on the field. You know, if we needed something from the field to glue something together, you know, you were the one that I would most turn to. You know, play this rhythm, Lydia. You know, play this here, so that we can feel the time from this part to this part. Or, you know, change this, play this so that this works here. You know, so you were kind of like my special little fix-it tool. So I'm going to miss having that ability, because I have to train that in somebody else. So who knows who's going to step up and be able to do that. So I'm going to miss you not only for your musicianship, but just for your attitude, your kindness, and how much you cared about all of your section, and how much you cared about making the drum line be the best that it could be, and just having fun in band. I mean, I could tell that you enjoyed playing, and that to me as a teacher is the best reward. So keep me informed of what you're doing. Please stay in touch, because I want to know how things pan out for you.